Welcome back, watch fans. We're talking Rolex, the secret history of Rolex. They don't want you to know. That's right. We're going to exposing the secret history of Rolex. And just so you know, we got a brand new sponsor. We finally got a sponsor. This channel costs millions of dollars to run, and we got the Qatar. Qatar is now official sponsor. We're talking about His Royal Highness Al Thani. I forgot his first name, but Al Thani is our official sponsor. And we're talking Rolex, and we're going to give you the secret that they don't want you to know. And you know what I mean by they. You know, when we say they, you know what that is, right? We can't mention this group of people because, they control the media and the weather. We're talking about the weather also. That's right. You know who I'm talking about. Now, Candace Owens has been exposing this, and also Nick Fuentes. And we're here to tell you that we did the research. That's right. We did the research. We're talking about Rolex Secret History was founded by a group of Talmudic scholars and Kabbalah scholars. This Hans Wilsdorf, that's not his real name. You know that by now, right? You know that. Hans Wilsdorf, real name? Chaim Wisniewski. That's right. Chaim Wisniewski, a Talmudic scholar from Bialystok. Chaim Wisniewski, a Talmudic scholar, founded Rolex, and what was the point of it? What was the point? The point? To control the weather. You Google it. You heard of the Mossad? You know the Mossad? The Mossad, they had those beepers. They sent beepers. They sold, I guess they didn't give them away. They're not going to give you free stuff. You know that, right? So the Mossad gave the beepers to Hezbollah. You know who the Hezbollah is? You Google it. You Google Hezbollah, and the beepers exploded. It's unbelievable, but true. Unbelievable. Now, let me tell you something. Gentlemen, as you know, this channel is sponsored by Qatar, so we only tell you the truth. The most truthiest channel. Now, before we tell you about... By the way, just so you know, I'm going to tell you the point of this. The Rolex controls the President of the United States. That's right. How do they do it? The day-date. That's right. You Google it. The Mossad was involved. Think about it. The day-date. Rolex gave the president day-date to every U.S. president as a gift, a Trojan horse. A Trojan horse. Okay, by the way, look at the Rolex logo. It's a Kabbalistic symbol from the Kabbalah. You know the Kabbalah? You Google the Kabbalah. You Google it. Now, we're going to tell you stuff that you're never going to hear from Candace Owens because she doesn't have the guts. Candace Owens does not have the guts to tell you the stuff we're going to be telling you on this channel. This is the #1 channel for horological content. Unbelievable but true. Okay? We're going to tell you top secret information. By the way, this watch has special Kabbalistic powers to repel demons. I've been telling you, you got to have gold on the Rolex. It's got to be the right ratio also. It's a special. You got to study the Talmud, okay? You got to study the Talmud, and in there they tell you which of the Rolex models have demon repelling qualities, and which ones actually are just the opposite. Which of the Rolex actually attracts demons? That's the mistake that Tucker Carlson made. Tucker Carlson got attacked by demons. You Google it. He admits he was attacked by demons in the middle of the night while he was sleeping with his wife and 4 dogs in bed. That's right, Tucker Carlson sleeping in bed with his wife and 4 hunting dogs. I mean, I don't know. Listen, I'll tell you this much. No Talmudic scholar is sleeping in bed with 4 dogs. Okay? That's for sure not going to happen. That's haram. Okay? You know what that is? You Google it. Al Thani knows. By the way, just, by coincidence, the Duke, this is a true story. The Duke and Al Thani, excuse me, not the Duke, the Colonel and Al Thani of Qatar, we share the same tailor. Unbelievable, true. Not this jacket, but we're talking Henry Poole. That's right. I'm going to give you the inside information you're not going to get anywhere else. Not from Candace Owens, not from Tucker Carlson. The Colonel, longtime customer of Henry Poole. I was in there, when you go there to get your fitting, when they check the crotch, make sure, you got everything, the whole pants. You're in that little room, and it's kind of a low budget. And you think about it, you're buying an expensive suit. We're talking about something that's Yeah, pricey. It ain't cheap, okay? We're not talking like Tom Ford crap here. We're talking about real money. They put you in this little room, dressing room, and, it's like, they got, cloth, scraps of cloth on the floor, needles lying around. I mean, sewing. And they got a rack. They always have a rack of, like, 10 suits, because they have other guys, they have other aristocrats like the colonel coming in there for fittings. They just leave it there, right? And everybody's name is on the jacket, or the whatever, the pants, whatever. It's on. There's a label attached, a big label, order. So I'm there, waiting. I'm waiting for my. I'm sitting there, waiting for the guy to come in, because I got the suit on. And I'm looking at the suits hanging on the rack, because there's some kind of cool, whatever. And you see everybody's name there, because and one of them is, I see, Altani. Actually, two. No, I think he had like half a rack. But interestingly, the two. What I did notice was he had. I think it's called a morning suit. A morning suit. MORNING. Like morning, like instead of night. A morning suit. They're making a morning suit. I think he had two and a couple of other suits. Because he's a big fan of horse racing. That's what you wear when you go, sit in the stands at Ascot. That's right. I think it was probably for Ascot, the Ascot races with the Queen. And this is, I think, when the Queen was still alive. This is like about 5 years ago, right? I think this was just shortly after COVID, or right around that. I forgot when it was, but about 5 years ago. And yeah, so this guy, it's interesting. He was, so I think it's interesting. I think he's a supporter of the Ascot races. That's right. Qatar has bought everybody. You Google it. They bought the Queen of England, because that's her big thing. The Ascot races. That's her big thing, and they're the sponsor. And I bet Altani was probably was there before I came in. He was probably sniffing my suit. He was probably sniffing the crotch of my suit. That's right. You Google it. I know some of these. I bet the Kino probably came in there. He snuck in there. Kino was probably trying to sniff the crotch of the trousers, because that's the way Kino is. Now His Royal Highness probably was doing it for a good reason, because he knows that there's special powers. Unbelievable, but true. Now let's get back to the Rolex. Okay, so here's the deal. So Rolex gives the day dates to every president, right? And there's a country, they say, that controls the president. You know who I'm talking about. We can't mention it, but there's a certain country that allegedly controls the president. Now, how would they do it? Through the Rolex president day date. They made it special for him. Now, Trump has got 3. He's got one that he had a long time ago, and a couple of these guys gave him gifts. You're talking about that guy Steve-O or something? I don't know, some guy. Or a couple of these guys, these social influencers guys gave, there's a couple of videos out there. They gifted him a big 40 millimeter day date, right? Now, when you wear that watch, you get messages straight from Mossad. The Mossad sends messages direct to the watch, and it's the mind control, 100%. And also the weather. And they also got the space lasers. Let me tell you, they got space lasers. They got the space lasers. The space lasers is how they get you. Now, where were we with this? Oh yeah, so just so you know, now, you're going to think this is all a conspiracy, but guess what happened? The Talmudic scholars, which is Hans Wilsdorf, aka Chaim Vizhnitsky, he was a student of the Panovich Talmudic Academy. They went to Shanghai during World War II, right? Because the H-man was not a big fan of the Talmud. I don't know if you know this. You Google it, but the H-man was not a big fan of the Talmud. So they went to Shanghai, and there was a Talmudic academy in Shanghai. Now, why did they go to Shanghai? Why? You Google it. To open a factory, a Rolex factory in Shanghai. I've been telling you about the Rolex factories in China. I've been telling you about this. This is the only channel that exposed the Rolex factories of Shanghai, of China. That's Hans Wilsdorf, aka Chaim Vizhnitsky, that did this. And by the way, every Rolex is designed using a special Kabbalistic formula. That's right. Unbelievable but true. Unbelievable true. And there's a meeting every week. There's a special meeting. you know, they get together and the price, the price, they figure out what the price should be. That's right. Also the gold prices, gold and diamond prices. This group, we can't mention their name, but they control all the prices. There's a weekly meeting. They all get together. It's a giant Zoom call. There's like millions of people on this call. They get together. It's a conspiracy, and we're exposing it here. That's right. This is the only channel where we expose these deep secrets of Rolex. And guess what? What you may not realize is, as I mentioned to you, the Mossad is involved, right? So here's the thing. Think about it. Think about what it means. You know, with the beepers, right? Now, what we've been told, this is an exclusive, is that the Mossad, by the way, you know, on this channel, we've been warning you about the Rolex Submariner tomato can watch, the Rolex Submariner, the Deep Sea, you know, those those big stupid watches. Also the Sky Dweller. Why do you think those watches are big? There's explosive devices in them. That's right. There's a little bomb. There's a little bomb in them. Now, guess who has one? Guess who has those watches? Think about it. Oisin O'Malley, the grifter of Venice. The grifter of Venice, Oisin O'Malley. Okay, you got Artem Pizdets, a.k.a. Tim Wright. Artem Pizdets. Okay. Now what do these gentlemen have in common? You Google it. What do these gentlemen have in common? Now, let me tell you what's going to happen. If you're wearing a Rolex Submariner, there's a good chance it's going to explode. But, oh, you know what's interesting? Do you notice His Royal Highness Al-Thani does not wear Rolex? That's right. We got a picture of him. He's wearing a Richard Mille. Why is he not wearing Rolex? Come on. He doesn't want to get. He doesn't want to get the Mossad space laser. He doesn't want to get zapped by the Mossad space laser. Okay, because you know, the what do you call it? The GMT, the Rolex GMT, whatever. That is, I mean, that's a direct space laser tracker. That's the space laser. And yeah, so that's what's going on, my friends. I don't know. We're telling you stuff, very controversial stuff that you're not going to hear from, you know, these other grifters out there, these grift streamers, or, you know, all these other conspiracy theorists, Alex Jones. This is not some Alex Jones stuff. This is all, like, we got direct from the source, okay? Direct from the source. And that's right. So, guess what? There is a, wait a second. Yeah. Unbelievable but true. All right, gentlemen, let me know what you think. Leave your nasty and vicious comments below, and we will see you all on the next one. And also there is a what are we going to tell you? Oh, these bike lockers. I bet the Mossad is probably controlling these bike lockers. By the way, do you know Rolex? This is, by the way, what you don't know. Rolex, they give allocations of their watches. They give specific allocations to certain countries. Why? To control the weather. It's to control the weather over there. Okay, you Google it. You Google it. Okay, they don't want you to know this. They do not want you to know. Okay. The Rolex watches is controlled by the weather. Excuse me, the weather is controlled by the Rolex. And you know who's controlling the Mossad? Do you understand where I'm going with this? Think about it. It's a private company, allegedly. No, you know, it's owned by a foundation. It's owned by a foundation for orphans. Allegedly, it's a charity. I mean, allegedly it's a charity. The foundation basically gives money to Swiss horology orphans. Come on. How many do you think there are? This is a company that makes billions of dollars. That money is used to make a giant space laser. Marjorie Taylor Greene, okay, she exposed the truth of this. Marjorie Taylor Greene, okay, you know who that is? You Google her. Marjorie Taylor Greene knows all about the space laser and the weather control, okay? And I'm giving you the truth. Okay, guys, this is, hopefully I'll be able to make more videos. Yeah, if you don't hear from me, you'll know what happened.